Hello, my friend. Have you ever been lying in bed, the house quiet, the night still, but your body nudges you awake again? You slowly sit up. Maybe your knees ache a bit. You slide your feet onto the cool floor and take that familiar walk, yet again, to the bathroom. If this sounds like your nights, I want you to know you're not alone. I'm Dr. Mira Patel, and today, I want to gently walk with you through something that affects millions of seniors around the world, waking up to pee multiple times at night. This isn't just a sleep issue. It affects your energy, your mood, your focus, and even your balance and safety. Some believe it's just what happens with age. But that's not fully true. Medical science has found that over 75% of seniors are unknowingly doing a few common things that trigger this exact problem. And the one mistake most people make, it has nothing to do with your bladder and everything to do with your evening habits. The good news? No medication is needed. With just a few small natural shifts done at the right time, you could start sleeping through the night more peacefully. If this is your first time on this channel, welcome. You're in a safe space here. This channel is for anyone who values their health, wants to understand their body better, and hopes to age with grace and clarity. Before we begin, I'd love to know, where are you watching from? Type the name of your city or town in the comments. It means a lot to know who I'm speaking to today. And if these insights help you, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell next to it. That way, we can keep learning together each week. Now let's get to it, because just a few nights from now, you might start waking up feeling truly rested again. For years, many seniors have quietly accepted a troubling belief that waking up several times a night to pass urine is just part of growing old. It's so common that people rarely question it. Friends talk about it casually, doctors sometimes overlook it, and family members often chalk it up to aging. But just because something is common doesn't mean it's normal. There's a quiet difference between what our bodies grow through naturally and what they adapt to when daily habits shift in ways we don't always notice. What most people don't realize is that this condition has a name, nocturia, and it's not just a minor inconvenience. It's a real disruption to your health and well-being. Nocturia doesn't just interrupt your sleep, it chips away at the very rest your brain and body rely on to heal, process, and reset. Your sleep isn't just a pause button, it's when your memory strengthens, your hormones rebalance, your immune system recharges, and your body repairs itself from the stress and strain of the day. Now imagine that healing being disturbed night after night, sometimes for years. Over time, you start to feel it, not just in tired eyes, but in foggy thinking, slower reflexes, crankier moods, and that heavy drained feeling that just doesn't go away no matter how long you nap during the day. Let me tell you about George, a 73-year-old man I met during a wellness consultation. He had been waking up 4, sometimes 5 times a night. He'd shuffle back and forth from bed to bathroom like it was part of a silent routine. He never really questioned it. That's just life at this age, he told me. But what struck him wasn't just the frequent trips. It was how deeply tired he had become during the day. His wife said he was losing interest in things he used to love. His grandchildren noticed he would forget conversations or mix up dates. And one morning, he almost fell getting out of bed too fast in the dark, groggy and off balance. That near fall became his wake-up call, not just to stay safe, but to ask what was really happening in his body. The truth is, waking up to pee at night isn't just about the bladder. It's your body's quiet way of saying, something's off, let's fix it. Recent medical research supports this. In fact, studies show that interrupted sleep, especially the deep REM phase that typically comes later in the night, plays a major role in how we age, both physically and mentally. When that REM phase is constantly cut short by nighttime urination, your brain doesn't get the time it needs to consolidate memories, balance mood, or flush out toxins linked to conditions like Alzheimer's. Your immune system doesn't get to finish its internal cleanup. Even your blood sugar and blood pressure regulation gets thrown off. These aren't things you feel overnight, but over time, the wear adds up. Now, here's something most people don't expect. In more than 80% of cases, nocturia isn't caused by kidney disease, prostate issues, or diabetes. It comes from daily lifestyle patterns, specifically 5 small habits that tend to go unnoticed. They seem harmless at first: a late dinner, a soothing cup of tea before bed, a chilly room that makes you layer up in thick pajamas, or the idea of going to the bathroom, just in case, before lying down. All of these, over time, train your body into a cycle of disruption. That's why this conversation matters. Because if nocturia is coming from habits, then that means you have the power to change it. Not through harsh medications or expensive treatments, but through simple changes made with care. Things like adjusting when and what you eat or drink, or shifting how your body rests during the night. These might sound small, but your body is always listening, always responding to the rhythm you set. And when you give it the right cues, it often knows exactly how to restore balance on its own. So the big question we're asking in this video is, could this one mistake, this one unnoticed habit, be the reason you wake up to pee at night? Stick with me because I'll walk you through each of these habits one by one. And with every small tip, you'll be closer to giving your body the kind of rest it's quietly been craving for years. You don't need to live with exhaustion. You don't need to brace yourself for the night. Peaceful, uninterrupted sleep is not just a dream. It's still very possible. Let's start making it real. Let's start with one of the most common and most overlooked reasons why so many older adults wake up to urinate at night: too much fluid intake in the evening hours. Now, this might seem like an obvious point to some. Many people already try to avoid drinking water right before bed. But what's surprising is how much more subtle and widespread the issue actually is. It's not just about that final glass of water. It's about all the fluids and water-rich foods we take in during the second half of the day, especially in those few hours before sleep. Think about your typical evening. You might have dinner around 7 or 8 p.m., followed by a warm bowl of soup or broth. Maybe you enjoy some juicy fruits like oranges, grapes, or watermelon after your meal. Later, you sip on a calming herbal tea while reading or watching the news. All of these seem like harmless or even healthy habits, but together they can quietly overload your bladder. As we age, our kidneys don't slow down at night the way they used to. That means your body continues filtering and producing urine while you're trying to rest. And when there's more fluid in your system than your bladder can hold comfortably, it wakes you up again and again. Let me share the story of Helen, a 75-year-old retired librarian. She was healthy, active, and sharp, but she had one frustrating problem. She hadn't slept through the night in over 5 years. Every night, like clockwork, she'd get up around 1:30 a.m. and then again at 4 a.m. She assumed it was just her age until she mentioned it during a health workshop. I asked her to walk me through her evening routine. Her dinner was light, usually vegetable soup with some bread followed by a fruit bowl. Around 9 p.m., she'd make herself a cup of chamomile tea to help wind down. On the surface, everything sounded fine. But when we looked closer, it became clear that she was unknowingly loading her system with fluid all evening long. Helen decided to try something new. She kept her dinner simple but moved it earlier, to about 6 o'clock p.m. She skipped the soup and fruit bowl and saved the tea for her mid-afternoon instead of late evening. She also gave herself a liquid cutoff time. No fluids, including juicy fruits or watery foods, after 7 p.m. At first, she worried she'd feel thirsty or uncomfortable. But what surprised her was how quickly her body adjusted. Within just 1 week, she was only waking up once per night. By the end of the second week, there were nights when she didn't get up at all. The improvement in her energy was noticeable, not just to her but to her daughter, who commented that Helen seemed sharper, more cheerful, and more alert during their morning phone calls. The reason this works is simple. When you reduce fluid intake 3 hours before bedtime, you give your kidneys enough time to process and filter what's already in your system. This allows your body to release excess fluid before you sleep. At the same time, it helps increase production of vasopressin, a natural hormone your body makes that reduces urine output during the night. In younger people, vasopressin production automatically rises at night, which is why children and young adults usually sleep through without needing to go. But in older adults, this rhythm can become disrupted, especially when fluid intake is high in the evening. By adjusting your timing, you help your body reset that rhythm naturally. And it's not just about water. Warm milk, soups, broths, herbal teas, smoothies, juicy fruits. And even vegetables with high water content like cucumber and lettuce all count. These foods can be perfectly fine just earlier in the day. You don't have to eliminate them entirely. Just shift them to lunchtime or early evening. If you're someone who takes medications that make you thirsty, or you live in a warm climate where hydration is a concern, try front-loading your fluids earlier in the day. Have most of your water by 3 or 4 p.m., then taper off. For those worried about thirst during the night, a small bottle or glass of water by the bedside is okay, but use it only if you truly need it. Sipping water out of habit, even when you're not thirsty, can keep you stuck in the same cycle. Your body is smart. Once you stop training it to expect regular bathroom trips at night, it begins to hold urine for longer again, just like it used to years ago. I often tell people, what you drink matters, but when you drink it matters even more. That small shift, moving your tea to mid-afternoon or skipping the post-dinner fruit, can be the beginning of a peaceful night. And that change doesn't just affect your sleep. It impacts your energy the next morning, your memory throughout the day, and even your mood. Most seniors don't realize how much nighttime urination is wearing them down until they experience what deep, uninterrupted rest feels like again. Helen said it best after 3 weeks of her new routine. I never thought skipping soup would help me feel 10 years younger, but I wake up now with energy I forgot I had. That's the beauty of it. You don't need to buy anything new. You don't need to take anything away from your comfort. You just need to gently realign your routine with what your body truly needs. If you've been waking up multiple times a night and assuming it's just part of getting older, try the simple habit change. Set a time each evening, say 7 p.m., as your personal fluid cutoff. Watch how your nights slowly change. You may not notice a difference on day 1, but give it a week. Let your body settle into the new rhythm. And then, one night, you may open your eyes to soft morning light and realize you didn't get up once. That feeling? That's not just rest, that's a relief. And it starts with something as small as a cup of tea or the choice to skip it. Let's talk about something many people don't connect with nighttime urination at all: late dinners and diuretic foods. Most of us think of dinner as a time to unwind. You've finished your day, and there's comfort in sitting down to a warm plate of food with family or while watching the evening news. But what you eat and when you eat it can directly affect how often you get up to pee at night. In fact, it's one of the sneakiest causes of nocturia that people overlook for years. I once had a conversation with Leonard, a 69-year-old retired engineer. He wasn't just tired, he was frustrated. I eat healthy, he told me, lots of salad, light dinners, and a cup of green tea to settle my stomach before bed. From the outside, his choices looked thoughtful, but when we looked closer, Leonard's typical evening meal included several natural diuretics, foods and drinks that gently increase urine production. His salad was loaded with cucumber, tomato, and celery. After dinner, he always had fruit, often watermelon or grapes, and every single night, just before bed, he sipped green tea because he believed it helped digestion. The reality is, many of the foods we consider light, healthy, or hydrating, especially in the evening, can quietly act as diuretics. Watermelon, celery, asparagus, cucumber, ginger, lemon water, coffee, chocolate, tea, including green or herbal, and even spicy foods can trigger the body to produce more urine. That's their natural effect. It's not about cutting these foods out of your life completely. They're not harmful, but timing is everything. When you eat or drink them late in the day, they push your kidneys and bladder into activity mode during the exact hours your body is supposed to be powering down for rest. It's like trying to clean the house while everyone else is trying to sleep. The system gets thrown off. Once Leonard understood the connection, he made 2 changes. First, he moved his dinner to 6 p.m. instead of 8 p.m. Second, he cut out diuretic foods after 4 p.m. entirely. That meant no more green tea at night, no more cucumber salads with dinner, and no more evening fruit bowls. Instead, he started having those foods at lunchtime or mid-afternoon. His dinners became simpler: steamed veggies with a bit of rice or a small serving of protein. He thought it would be difficult at first, especially skipping the tea, which had become a comforting ritual. But what happened next surprised him. After just 10 days, he woke up only once during the night. Within 3 weeks, he was sleeping 5 to 6 hours straight without interruption. Science backs this up. Our bodies follow something called the circadian rhythm, a natural 24-hour clock that regulates everything from digestion to hormone release. Your digestive system begins to slow down in the evening, and your bladder and kidneys also prepare to rest. But when you eat dinner late, especially if that meal includes diuretic ingredients, you basically override that clock. The kidneys stay active longer, the bladder fills up faster, and your brain starts getting mixed messages. Instead of focusing on deep sleep and repair, it stays alert to the growing pressure from your bladder. That's why even small amounts of food or drink at the wrong time can throw off your entire night. This doesn't just affect sleep, it can affect how your body absorbs nutrients too. When digestion is rushed or happens too late, your body may not fully break down or absorb the vitamins and minerals from your food. This can lead to issues like bloating, poor energy, or even constipation over time. And if acid reflux or indigestion is part of your nightly struggle, a late, heavy dinner may be doing more harm than good. People often ask, but what if I get hungry in the evening? That's a fair question. If you're truly hungry around 8 or 9 p.m., try something light and non-diuretic, like a small spoon of unsweetened yogurt, a banana, or a slice of plain toast. Avoid spicy, citrusy, or overly sweet foods, and give your body at least 2.5 to 3 hours between your last bite and the time you lie down. This window allows your stomach to process food calmly and reduces the chance of bladder pressure building overnight. I remember Gloria, 72, who thought she was stuck with broken sleep forever. Her husband joked that she spent more time with the toilet than the bed. But after shifting her dinner an hour earlier and cutting out her nightly chocolate and ginger tea, everything changed. I used to think I needed that tea to relax, she said. Turns out I needed real rest more than anything, and now I get it. If you're someone who snacks late into the evening, it might be worth paying attention. Keep a food and bathroom log for just 1 week. Write down what time you eat dinner, what you have, and how many times you wake up. You may begin to notice patterns, specific nights where certain foods or drinks lead to more interruptions. Use that information to guide small, gentle shifts. You don't have to change everything overnight. Start with one step. Move your dinner earlier, or skip that after-dinner cup of tea. Let your body have a chance to reset its natural flow. It's a quiet truth, but a powerful one. Your bladder listens to your plate. What you eat and drink, and when you do it, sends messages. Your body follows through the night. The fewer disruptions you give it late in the day, the more peacefully it can rest when the lights go off. You may not notice it right away, but keep going. Within a week or two, you might find yourself waking up and realizing something different. You actually slept, deeply, restfully, like your body had been waiting for you to make this change all along. There's a habit many older adults follow without even thinking about it, using the bathroom just in case before going to bed. It's a routine most people learn early in life. Parents say it to children, it becomes a part of bedtime rituals, and as we grow older, it sticks around. The logic behind it seems sound. Empty your bladder now so you don't have to get up later. But what if I told you that this habit, something so widely accepted, could actually be training your bladder the wrong way? Take Mildred, for example. She's 77, a retired school principal who lives with her niece. Each night she would have her dinner, enjoy some quiet reading, take her medications, and right before bed, use the bathroom whether she felt the urge or not. It just seems smart, she told me. Why wait to feel uncomfortable during the night? But what was meant to be preventive actually caused more harm than help. Mildred found herself waking up 2 to 3 times every single night, often just to pass a small trickle. It felt like her bladder was always calling out, even when it was nearly empty. And like so many others, she blamed age and kept doing what she had always done. The truth is, your bladder is a muscle, and like every other muscle in the body, it can learn habits. When you go to the bathroom without a strong, real urge, out of habit or anxiety, you're conditioning your bladder to react to smaller and smaller amounts of fluid. Over time, the bladder stops waiting until it's actually full. It sends signals to the brain early, urging you to get up even when there's barely anything there. This habit, repeated night after night, sets off a cycle. The bladder starts underperforming, your sleep gets interrupted, and your trust in your own body weakens. Eventually, you're not waking because you need to go. You're waking because your bladder thinks it should. Mildred's doctor helped her try something new, what's called the true urge approach. Instead of going just in case, she was encouraged to wait until she truly felt the need. At first, this made her nervous. The idea of possibly waking up needing to rush didn't sit well with her, but she gave it a try. On nights when the urge was mild, she would sit quietly, breathe slowly, and distract herself for 15 to 20 minutes with a puzzle or soft music. Sometimes the urge faded. Other times it grew stronger, and then she would go. But with time, something remarkable happened. Her bladder started working again. Within 2 weeks, she noticed she was waking up less. By the third week, she was down to just one bathroom visit per night, and even that one felt more natural, more necessary, not forced by habit. This approach doesn't mean ignoring your body's needs or putting pressure on yourself. If you truly feel the need to go, then absolutely go. But the idea is to pause and ask yourself, is this real urgency or just habit? That simple question gives your bladder space to relearn what full feels like. And gradually, the habit of waking up for a half-filled bladder begins to fade. Many seniors find that once they break this just-in-case pattern, their sleep becomes longer, deeper, and more refreshing, sometimes for the first time in years. For anyone dealing with anxiety around accidents or incontinence, it's understandable to feel cautious. And for those with medical conditions that affect the bladder, like prostate issues, overactive bladder syndrome, or certain medications, this habit might require extra care and a discussion with a doctor. But even then, retraining the bladder with small, intentional changes can help reduce how often the brain sends unnecessary urgency signals. Another helpful tip: stop checking the clock every time you wake up. Many people feel panicked when they wake at 1:30 or 3 a.m. and automatically go to the bathroom just in case. But doing this reinforces the cycle. Instead, lie still for a few minutes and pay attention to your body. If there's no clear pressure or discomfort, try turning over and going back to sleep. Over time, your body can relearn to trust that it doesn't need a bathroom trip every single time your eyes open. Sometimes we don't realize how much power a small routine holds until we try letting it go. The just-in-case bathroom visit may seem like a small, smart act of caution, but in many cases, it turns into a long-term trigger for poor sleep and unnecessary waking. Mildred now laughs about it. "All those years I thought I was being careful," she said, "when really I was teaching my bladder to panic early. Now I go when I need to and I sleep like someone half my age." If you've been waking up multiple times at night to pass only a small amount of urine, consider giving this one change a try. It might feel unfamiliar at first, even uncomfortable, but stick with it gently and let your body show you what it's capable of. The goal is not perfection, it's peace. Peace at night, peace in your sleep, and peace in knowing that your body can still learn, still heal, and still rest. When we talk about sleep and nighttime urination, most people focus on what they eat or drink. Very few stop to think about how they're lying down once they finally crawl into bed. But your sleeping position, and even the kind of pillow you rest your head on, can quietly play a big role in how many times you wake up to use the bathroom at night. It's something that slips under the radar because it doesn't seem directly related to the bladder. But your posture affects everything: blood flow, bladder pressure, and how your organs settle while you rest. Take Mr. Robert Hughes, 71, a retired math teacher. For as long as he could remember, he slept on his stomach. It was something he picked up in his younger days, back when it helped him feel calm during stressful nights. But as the years passed, he began waking up more frequently, usually with a strong, sudden need to urinate, often just a few hours after falling asleep. He tried changing his diet, adjusting his fluid intake, and even taking supplements, but nothing seemed to help. Finally, during a wellness consult, we looked at something he never once considered: his sleep position. What we found was simple but powerful. Sleeping on the stomach, or in any posture that puts pressure on the lower abdomen, can press against the bladder. When you're lying flat with your weight centered over your middle, that gentle, constant pressure sends subtle signals to the brain, even if your bladder isn't full. Over time, your body begins to react as though it is full, waking you up before you really need to go. For someone like Robert, who was already sensitive to nighttime waking, that added pressure created a perfect storm of false urgency. He was responding to pressure, not necessity. The fix? He began sleeping on his left side, using a medium support pillow under his head and placing another pillow gently between his knees to keep his hips aligned. This small shift reduced pressure on his abdomen, improved circulation through the pelvis, and allowed his bladder to sit naturally without being compressed. The results were noticeable within days. By the end of the second week, Robert had nights where he only woke up once, sometimes not at all. His mood lifted. He stopped feeling groggy in the morning. And perhaps most touching of all, he said, "I didn't know my sleep could feel this peaceful again just by rolling over." There's science behind this too. Side sleeping, particularly on the left, encourages better blood flow to the kidneys and digestive system. It also helps reduce acid reflux and eases pressure on the bladder. Using the right pillow matters just as much. If your pillow is too high or too low, your neck and spine fall out of alignment, causing your body to adjust constantly through the night. That physical restlessness can contribute to more frequent wake-ups and less restorative rest. A pillow that keeps your head level with your spine reduces strain and helps your whole nervous system settle. Add in a knee pillow and your lower back and hips stay supported, reducing inflammation and minimizing disruptions. There's also another angle to this: fluid redistribution. During the day, gravity pulls excess fluid down into the legs and feet. When you lie down at night, especially if you've been sitting most of the day, that fluid begins to move back up into circulation. If your posture isn't supportive or your legs are elevated too soon, your body processes that fluid quickly and pushes it through the kidneys, which means more urine during the early stages of sleep. Good posture allows the body to balance this process more slowly and evenly, leading to fewer late-night bathroom trips. I also met Joyce, 68, who had back pain and used 3 pillows under her head to feel more supported. Unfortunately, this caused her neck to tilt forward, compressing her airways and affecting her breathing. She wasn't waking up from bladder pressure, she was waking up from shallow sleep caused by poor alignment. And when you're not reaching deep sleep stages, even a mild urge to urinate can feel stronger than it really is. Once Joyce switched to a single supportive pillow and began sleeping on her side, everything changed. She didn't just stop waking up to pee, she started dreaming again. Real vivid dreams, the kind she hadn't remembered in years. If you're someone who always wakes up during the first half of the night, or who finds yourself stirring before there's even a strong need to urinate, look at how you're sleeping. Is your pillow supporting your neck or pushing your head too far forward? Are you sleeping flat on your stomach or curled in a way that presses against your middle? Try lying on your left side, keeping your spine in a straight line from your neck down to your hips. Use soft but stable pillows to stay comfortable, and most importantly, give your body a week or two to adapt. Don't expect instant results. Just notice the little shifts, the longer sleep stretches, and the quieter nights. The way we sleep isn't just about comfort. It's a message to the body. And when the body feels supported, aligned, and at ease, it responds by settling down. Your bladder listens, your brain listens, and over time, those unnecessary wake-ups start to fade. As Robert said, "I didn't need a new medicine. I just needed a new position." We often talk about food, drinks, posture, and timing when it comes to sleep, but very few people pay attention to something that affects sleep just as deeply: the temperature of your room and the clothes you wear to bed. It might sound too simple to matter, but the environment your body rests in can quietly disrupt your sleep every single night, including how often you wake up to use the bathroom. Let me tell you about Doreen, a 69-year-old retired social worker. She kept her bedroom closed tightly each night, used thick curtains to block out light, and wore fleece pajamas even during warmer months. "I don't like getting cold at night," she said. "It helps me feel safe and warm." But what she didn't realize was that the trapped heat in her room and her heavy sleepwear was causing her body to sweat through the night. This mild overheating was forcing her system to stay active rather than enter deep, restorative sleep. And because the body tries to cool down by pushing more fluid through the kidneys, she keeps waking up needing to pee, not once, but 3 to 4 times before sunrise. What was happening to Doreen is very common, especially as we get older. Our bodies naturally become more sensitive to heat, even if we don't always feel it right away. When your room is too warm, your body increases circulation to the skin's surface to release excess heat. This process also stimulates the kidneys to create more urine, which in turn increases nighttime trips to the bathroom. Add to that layers of thick sleepwear or heavy blankets, and the body works even harder to regulate temperature. Instead of resting, your internal systems are busy keeping you cool, and that comes at the cost of restful sleep. Once Doreen understood the connection, she made a few small changes. She replaced her flannel pajamas with a loose cotton nightgown. She opened her window slightly for airflow and used a light fan to keep the air moving gently through the room. She also swapped her heavy quilt for a lighter, breathable blanket made of a linen and cotton blend. Within just 1 week, her nighttime awakenings were cut in half. 2 weeks later, she reported sleeping for 5 to 6 hours at a stretch, something she hadn't experienced in over a decade. Her mornings felt easier, her mood improved, and the constant grogginess that had followed her for years began to lift. Experts suggest that the ideal room temperature for sleep is somewhere between 18 and 20 degrees Celsius, 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. This range helps your body stay in its natural sleep zone. When your body feels just cool enough, it can enter deeper sleep more easily and maintain it for longer. Your heart rate slows down, your breathing becomes steady, and your kidneys don't overcompensate by filtering out more fluids than necessary. The same applies to your sleepwear. Tight clothes or synthetic fabrics trap heat and moisture against your skin, which disrupts the skin's ability to breathe and release heat naturally. This can not only make you sweat, but also disturb your sleep cycles. On the other hand, loose, breathable materials like cotton, bamboo, or soft linen support gentle airflow and help your body regulate itself more efficiently through the night. If you live in a cooler area or are someone who gets cold easily, it's better to layer light clothing rather than wearing one heavy piece. That way, your body can adjust throughout the night as temperatures shift. And for those who worry about getting cold feet or hands, a simple pair of breathable socks and a lightweight throw blanket at the foot of the bed can do the trick. The goal is to support your body's natural rhythm, not override it. If your body is constantly overheating and adjusting, you're not resting, you're working, even in sleep. One man I spoke with, David, age 72, used to joke that he was a sleeper in a sauna. He'd go to bed bundled up because of habit, not temperature. His wife noticed how often he tossed, turned, and kicked the covers off through the night. It wasn't until she suggested he change his pajamas to something lighter that they realized the difference. David cut back on his layers, opened the door slightly for fresh air, and the results were almost immediate. "I thought I had a bladder problem," he admitted, "but I just needed to cool off." The connection between heat, fluid balance, and nighttime urination is something most people never hear about. But once they understand it, they start to see their bedroom not just as a place to sleep, but as part of the solution. Simple things like choosing the right fabric, setting the thermostat a few degrees lower, or adding a fan can completely transform the quality of your rest. So if you've been waking up at night, even after managing your fluids and posture, take a look at your sleep environment. Does your room feel stuffy or too warm? Are your pajamas thick or tight? Are you layering out of comfort or just out of habit? Sometimes the answer isn't more medicine or more routines. It's just less heat. A cooler room, lighter clothes, and gentle airflow could be all your body needs to finally settle into deep, undisturbed sleep. As Doreen said one morning, "I changed my blanket and found my rest." Who knew it could be that simple? So friend, let me ask you, what's really waking you up at night? Is it just age? Or is it something you have the power to change? The small choices, when you eat, what you sip, and how you rest, can open the door to deeper sleep and brighter mornings. If any of these habits spoke to you or reminded you of something you've been doing without even thinking, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Or, if you just want to say you're hopeful, just type the word hope below. That one word is enough to tell us you're still choosing rest, still choosing health. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Share this video with someone who could use a more peaceful night too. You've spent your whole life caring for others. Now let's take care of you. Sleep well tonight. See you next time.